A lot of people are saying this right now. My income is fine, but something, it just still feels off. I'm not getting ahead the way I expected. For most people, a single income stream is the only income stream. And that used to work. The math on that arrangement, though, has changed. Not because you did anything wrong, but because the environment around us has changed. Now, before we get into this episode, I want to make sure you understand this is not about hustle culture. It's about financial architecture. Hustle culture is the grind more, sacrifice everything, build an empire. That's not what I'm talking about today. What I am talking about is that financial architecture. Reduce your single point of failure so that one disruption doesn't take everything down. By the end of this episode, I want you to understand why the single income risk profile is getting worse and what the minimum viable second stream income actually looks like. So let's talk about how you can approach this mentally. Think about how businesses approach revenue risk. No healthy business relies on a single customer for all revenue. Any business advisor would call that catastrophic concentration. It's a huge risk. One customer leaves, the business is over. It's done. When your entire financial life runs on one income source, you are that business. This is not about working more. It is about building a structure that is just less fragile, less likely to fail on you. A second income stream does not have to match or even replace your primary income unless you want it to. It just has to exist. And it will help you reduce your exposure from a single point of failure. Wealthy people do not depend on a single income stream. Not because they are lucky, but because they understand concentration risk. This is not taught in school. It's not taught at work. It is one of the rules of money that most people just were never given. And today we're making it accessible to you. So let's start with why the math isn't working anymore. Our wages have not grown at the same pace that housing, healthcare, education, food, all of those things have. Those have clearly outpaced the income gains. The same income that felt comfortable 10 years ago buys meaningfully less of the things that define financial stability today. It's just the math. It's not political. It's just the world we live in right now. We start to couple that with things like automation, and we're starting to see even AI potentially impact the job market. Jobs that required 2 to 3 years of specialized training, they're being partially automated in multiple industries. This isn't said to panic you. It means that income predictability of a W-2 employment is just lower than it was a decade ago. The average job tenure now is also under 4 years in most industries. This means income disruption risk is structurally higher than it has been for the generation before us. And that's not because you are less valuable. It's because the environment is it's less stable right now. Here's how you could test that, the liquidity test. If your primary income stopped today, how many days until you could not cover your fixed expenses? Run this number. Most people haven't done this and haven't calculated this. Again, this is not about fear. It is about clarity. You cannot solve a risk you have never quantified. Quick pause for a second. If anything I've shared so far has hit a nerve, if you're carrying debt you can't seem to shake, or if you haven't started investing yet, or you're just not sure where you actually stand financially, I built something specifically for that. It's called the Financial Pulse Check. It's 2 minutes, 7 questions, and it'll tell you exactly which money habit is costing you the most right now and what to do about it first. It's free. It's at netwealthnest.com/pulse. Or you could just head over to our website, netwealthnest.com, and you'll see the floating bubble. And I'll drop the link in the show notes for you too. But just take it before you forget. One more time, that's at netwealthnest.com/pulse. All right. Let's keep going. Next, there are 2 dimensions for evaluating any second income stream. Your time input, is it active or passive, and the source, skills versus assets. Let's talk about active skills. Things like consulting, freelancing, service-based work. You're trading time for money using existing knowledge you already have. Then active assets, things like managing a rental, operating a small business. Now, these require capital or property to make happen. But passive skills, productized knowledge. Think of a course, an ebook, a template. It's an upfront build, then runs with less ongoing time. And then you have passive assets, dividend income, income fund returns, real estate equity. These also require capital to accumulate them first. Where you should start for most people, it's in those active skill areas because you already know how to do those things. It's the fastest path to the first dollar in your second income stream. The goal at this stage is not passive income. The goal is a second dollar that doesn't require a second employer. The minimum concept here is how do you get between $200 and $500 a month, which could meaningfully change your risk profile. It could cover 1 to 2 small fixed expenses, and it buys you runway if your primary income is disrupted. You do not need to replace your salary. You need to reduce your single point of failure. This is a risk management goal, not a wealth building goal, at least in the beginning. Wealthy people move toward passive income over time, but almost all of them started active. The passive income they have today was built on active work from years earlier. This is the path, not a shortcut. Active first, then you systematize it, then you move it towards passive. Now, as you are about to maybe take some action, there's one thing I want you to keep in mind. When you make this first move towards your second income stream, you want to make sure you do it in a way that doesn't make it easy to burn out. And here's the mistake most people make. They treat that second income as a second full-time job starting on day one. Realistically, 5 to 10 hours a week is enough to test a concept and generate initial revenue. You're not trying to build an empire on day one. You're testing out your hypothesis with low cost. The hourly rate test for anything you are considering is a great first step. Calculate, what does this stream actually pay per hour of my time in the first month? If it's below minimum wage in month 1, the model probably needs adjustment before you commit to it. It doesn't mean it's the wrong idea. It just means that you might not have everything put in place the way it should be to make it worth your time, effort, and energy to continue down the road. If it pays more per hour than your day job, you have information worth acting upon. Now, there's the 12-month sustainability question. Can you do this for a full year without burning out or resenting it? Burnout from a second income stream bleeds into your primary job performance. This makes the risk actually worse, not better. Choose something that you can sustain at a low investment level before you scale it. This allows you to not only test your hypothesis, but generate some revenue and make sure that you enjoy doing what you're doing. Lastly, there are 2 things that most successful people, the people who build something, a second income stream that's sustainable and continues forward versus the people that quit after 2 months, they do 2 things kind of differently. The first thing is that they make sure that the amount of time they're devoting fits their current lifestyle. If you are very busy with family or kids or your spouse or whatever, trying to do 20, 30 hours a week is probably going to burn you out very, very fast. On the flip side, if you start with 5 or 6 hours a week, it's something you can work yourself into. As you continue down that path, you might be able to expand beyond that and be able to grow that investment. But starting where you're at right now is really, really important to just start piecing together one step at a time without burning yourself out. Again, I reiterate, the burnout is what stops most people. They go through it for 2 or 3 months and then they just give up, and that's the end of that second income stream. We want you to make sure that you are putting something together that is going to last and is going to be capable of reducing your risk factor from that single income. The second piece is the people who are successful almost always have those people around them that are cheering them on and holding them accountable to what they said they were going to do. Having those people in your life, whether it be your network or whether it be your friends and family, to keep you going is so incredibly important. They're the ones when you hit a wall or when you get frustrated or when it takes more time than what you thought it would, because it will, that they will keep encouraging you to move forward, Now, the network is also important where you want to be around builders. Doesn't mean you have to be around people that are in the same industry as you. Maybe you want to start a small real estate company and you're trying to buy rentals to have a separate income stream. That doesn't mean that your entire network has to be real estate professionals. What it does mean is you want people in your circle that are builders. Maybe they're building something different, but they're going through the same repetition. And a lot of times they're going through the same issues that you are and having the same fears, the same thoughts, all of those things. You can work together to overcome those issues, those roadblocks, those fears, even if the industries aren't the same. It's just important that the people you're around are interested in building something just like you are. This is one thing that has really helped me in my personal life around building my real estate business and this financial education business, Net Wealth Nest. I've had people where when I've struggled, where I felt like maybe I'm going down the wrong path, or maybe this isn't worth the time, effort, and energy, they've refocused me. They've showed me the progress that I've made, and they've helped me get back on the path, even when I'm deflated. I can't stress how important these individuals they are. Everyone from your friends and family to that network can push you in the right direction. You just have to be willing to make those connections. Before we wrap, here's what I want you to do. Everything I share on this podcast is meant to help you understand the game of money. But knowing where you stand in that game is actually what changes the next 30 days. That's why I built the financial pulse check at netwealthnest.com/pulse. It's 2 minutes, a handful of questions. It'll show you whether the biggest leak in your financial life right now is your spending, your income, or your follow through. Because the fix is different for each one, and most people are working on the wrong one. I've been on the other side of this. I know what it feels like to be doing all the right things and still feel stuck. The pulse check is the same diagnostic I start every coaching conversation with. Take it. It's free. netwealthnest.com/pulse. All right, let's wrap it up. All right, recap. One, income, it's a structural risk. The math on this, it's not getting better, it's getting worse. So make sure you understand that and get your mind in the right place. When you're going to start with active skills. Use what you already know to generate $200 to $500 a month in a second income stream. Then run the hourly rate test and the 12-month sustainability test before committing massively to anything. This is not about grinding harder. It's about building a financial structure that is less fragile than the current one you might already have. Thanks for joining our podcast today. I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, make sure you're sharing it with other individuals in your sphere that might see this as useful. As always, please like and subscribe to our podcast channel and our YouTube channel. We put out new content every week to help you break out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle and build your net wealth. Thanks for joining. My name's Jim. Bye, everybody.
Net Wealth Nest LLC and Podcast is an educational platform committed to providing resources and information to empower individuals on their financial journey. Please note, we do not provide financial, tax, or investment advice. All financial decisions should be made in consultation with a qualified professional who understands your unique circumstances. Seeking personalized advice is a smart and necessary step before making any major financial commitments. Thanks so much for joining us today. If you found value in this episode, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Net Wealth Nest, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. We read every comment, and they help us improve and guide what topics we dive into next. And hey, if something you heard today resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend, a family member, a coworker, your barber, your barista, even a stranger in line. You never know who might need this message. Remember, building net wealth is a journey, but you don't have to do it alone. Stick with us, and together, let's grow your net wealth nest.